Hello, fellow Rotarians and guests. I'm Lori Alton, and I'm honored to serve as your club president for the Rotary year 2021-2022. The Rotary Club of Columbus has a storied past, beginning in 1915, when a group of civic-minded people saw the need for leaders to come together to find ways to make our community better. And now, 106 years later, we're a vibrant, strong club that continues to place service above self. Our club is diverse, with members across all sectors of business, government, military, healthcare, education, nonprofit and community service, ministry, and the arts. And we come together each week as friends with a shared purpose of learning how we can be more involved in the things that matter to all of us. And we leave committed to changing our community and changing lives. As Rotarians, we are people of action, and it shows. So welcome back to Rotary. Thank you for being here, and thank you for making a difference in our community. Well, hello, and welcome to the October 6th meeting of the Rotary Club of Columbus. Can you believe it? We're in October. I can't believe it. So good to see all of you here today, and for those of you watching at home online, a special welcome to you as well. So I've gotten it on good authority and some very select intel that somebody here is celebrating a very special birthday. So I happen to know that Sam Wetzel is celebrating his 91st birthday today. So would you join me? Now, Sam, you can blame your children and Carol on this, okay? So now would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now I would like to call on past President Ron King to bring us today's invocation in accordance with his faith tradition.
General Wetzel, happy birthday. We're honored to serve with you, and I'm grateful to be part of this organization we call Rotarians. You are making a difference in this community, in this nation, in this world, each and every day. In the midst of all the negative, bombastic news we get, Rotary is a source of hope and possibility around the world. Thank you for what you do each and every day. Would you join me for a period of blessing and thanksgiving? Gracious and loving God, you fill all of our life with the possibility and hope that we can never fully comprehend. Thank you for bringing us to this moment, this day, which is filled with opportunities and service above self. May we realize how fortunate and blessed we are. We have food to eat, clean water to drink, and friends with whom we can fellowship. Thank you. Help us to have the courage to awaken to a greater care for one another. Thank you for all the opportunities Rotaries provide to help this world become a better, safer place for all. Bless this food. Bless all gathered here. Thank you for all our gifts, great and small. In your name we pray. Amen. There's a can in the middle of the table. Fill it up.
At this time, Cedric Hill II will bring us today's news.
Good afternoon. Here is a look at a few headlines for us today. On Monday, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram all suffered outages for around 6 hours. Facebook, the owner of all three platforms, said the reason was changes to underlying internal infrastructure that coordinates the traffic between its data centers. And if you know what that means, you are a smarter person than I am. The company said, however, that there was no evidence of user data being compromised as a result of the outage. On Saturday, the annual Help the Hooch community cleanup worked over 20 locations throughout Columbus. Over 300 volunteers cleaned up areas that leak into waterways such as the Chattahoochee. This was the 28th year of the event's occurrence. In college football news, Alabama holds the top spot in AP rankings with Georgia coming in at a close number 2. Other SEC teams in the top 25 include Arkansas at 13, Kentucky, Mississippi, and Auburn at 16, 17, and 18, and Florida at number 20. In the weather today, it's cloudy with rain and thunderstorms were expected earlier today, but I think they're now expected later today, with a high of 75 and a low of 68. Also be careful, there's a flash flood warning in effect until late tonight. One last thing, I did not know about this until recently, but October 6th is National Transfer Money to Your Daughter Day. And so if you have a daughter, maybe do that. But also to the sons, don't worry, next week, October 13th is National Transfer Money to Your Son Day. And so, Dad, I see you over there. I'm getting my transfer ready.
So Cedric, are you in cahoots with Austin, my daughter? I'm thinking so. And now it's my pleasure to ask Frey McCormick if he would please introduce today's visitors and guests.
Thank you, President Lori and fellow Rotarians. We have one visiting Rotarian, very familiar to us, from the Catalina Rotary Club in Tucson, Arizona, Kirk Reed. Kirk, welcome. Always good to see you. And Ben McMinn has a guest, Jay Pitts. Jay here is the owner of Clencept, which is a medical research firm that runs clinical trial studies. It's based here in Columbus. So welcome, Jay. And that's all we have.
Well, thank you. Thank you, and welcome to all of our visitors and guests. As you know, one of my favorite traditions each week is welcoming and honoring a military guest. And so it's my pleasure to call on past President Michael Silverstein to please introduce today's Colonel Ralph Puckett, Jr., Soldier of the Week.
President Lori and fellow Rotarians, it's certainly my honor and pleasure today to introduce our special military guest, Sergeant First Class Austin Roberts. He's an 11B infantryman who currently serves as a Ranger instructor and a public affairs officer at the Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade here at Fort Benning, Georgia. He's originally from Puyallup, Washington, and he joined the Army in August of 2010 and then attended one station unit training right here at Fort Benning. And since joining the Army, Sergeant Roberts has served in multiple leadership positions, a few which include rifleman, grenadier, radio, telephone operator, assistant team leader, and squad leader. And since arriving back at Fort Benning in 2018, he served as a Ranger instructor at the Benning phase of Ranger School. And he has his Ranger tab, of course, and as we know, Rangers lead the way. He's had 2 combat deployments, both in support of Iraqi Operation Enduring Freedom, and he's a very well-trained and very dedicated soldier with various leaders courses in schools. And he's received multiple awards and decorations, several to include the Army Commendation Medal with 4 Oak Leaf clusters, the Army Achievement Medal with 1 Oak Leaf cluster, the Meritorious Unit Citation with 1 Oak Leaf cluster, and the Army Good Conduct Medal with 2 Oak Leaf clusters, as I said, with additional medals, too numerous to mention. He and his wife are the proud parents of a 4-month-old son, Caden, who is thriving. And Sergeant Roberts, we cannot begin to thank you enough for everything that you do and all your fellow soldiers for us each and every day. And as a small token of our appreciation for your being here today, first of all, I want to provide you a certificate designating you as the Ralph Puckett Jr. Soldier of the Week. I also have a Rotary Challenge coin, which I know you know what to do with that. And we also have a passport to the arts, which are 2 tickets for you and your wife at any time to the River Center, Columbus Symphony Orchestra, National Infantry Museum, Columbus State University Theater Department, and the Springer Theater. And I know I have something for you which you will really appreciate, which is from Colonel Ralph Puckett, his book that has been donated by a Rotarian for you and is inscribed by Colonel Puckett, Words for Warriors, a Professional Soldier's Notebook. Again, we can't thank you enough for being here with us today.
Thank you, Rotarians, for giving me the honor to be here. And this actually means a lot to me. I know I first saw Colonel Ralph Puckett in 2013 when I went to Ranger School, and that was the day that he ran the 5-mile route with us. And he has a special place in my heart, so thank you.
Thank you. Sergeant First Class Roberts, we really appreciate you being here. Honor us with your presence, so please take back all of our appreciation to the men and women who serve alongside you at Fort Benning, and let them know how much we appreciate them. And come back and see us anytime. Thank you. And so now I would like to ask Hayley, Tillery, and Jean Kemp if they would give us a Rotary football update. It seems like I remember a couple of pretty good games last weekend, and maybe there's a pretty good game coming up this weekend.
Thank you. We did have some big games last week, and this week's going to be even better. Just a little quick recap on Rotary football. We have got 46 players that are playing the game, and on the green sheet here, if you look at the back of it, if your name is not on there, if you please let Hayley or myself know, we'll get it on there for you because we want everybody playing. We have got a total through the 5 games of $7,041 even, and that's going to the Rotary Foundation. So give yourself a hand. That's a lot of money. We're doing good. Back on track. This is the way it's shaking out. In 5th place, Rotary football is North Carolina. 4th place is Auburn with 200 points. 3rd place is Tennessee with 204. Georgia's in 2nd place with 205. And of course, Alabama is back at 228 in 1st place. Now, today, we got you a couple of real experts going to tell you about this Georgia-Auburn game this week. So, and I know Hayley's one of them, and she just got back from Athens. She's been up there talking to Kirby. I think she's got it all figured out. So, Dave, Hart, you ladies first. Hayley? All right, Hayley, tell us about Georgia.
Well, everyone, this is going to be an exciting weekend. It is a rival game, as you heard, Georgia versus Auburn. And I got to share with you, growing up, I was raised as a Georgia girl all the way. Do I have my Georgia fans in the house? All right. So that's my foundation, okay? Foundation stays with me. It's going to be my heart. But I'm also at a mixed divide. So I married an Auburn family. So I know. It's okay, though. And I'm now an Auburn student at the university. So I'm kind of at a mixed divide when it comes to this game, because usually on other weekends I can root for Georgia, I can root for Auburn. So today I've decided I need to represent the team that I truly think is going to win this weekend, and that is Georgia. So let me tell you why. As you can see, Georgia's been doing a phenomenal job this season. It was one of those seasons where I didn't know how they're really going to perform until we saw them on the field, and they are performing to highest standards. As you probably heard, we are number 2 under which team? Alabama. Hey, but number 2 is a great way to be there. And after seeing the game this past weekend with Arkansas, I can say I know this game is going to be tight. It's always a game that brings energy. It brings excitement. The fact that it's taking place on the Auburn field, I think, is going to be an advantage to the Tigers because they are at their home base. But keep in mind, this is the first year in a long time this game has not been in November. It's going to be a midday game, too, around 3 o'clock versus a nighttime game. So that's going to add some difference there. But this is my prediction. After looking back over the years, 2018, we were Georgia 27-10, 2019 was 21-14, 2020 was 27-6, and even though Auburn's been, doing very well the last minute, all of our games right now, I think the final prediction this weekend, Georgia's going to win 28-17 to Auburn. So we will see. Go Dogs.
So it is the 126th renewal of what's called the Deep South's oldest rivalry. When you look at it on paper, clearly a mismatch. Georgia's probably got the best defense they've had maybe ever. I think I read that the Vanderbilt and Arkansas shutouts, it's the first time they've shut out SEC teams back-to-back since 1976. Everybody's saying pretty much the best defense in the league since 2011's Alabama team, Max, so I want to give you a shout out. Prediction, I could see Georgia kicking a field goal in the fourth quarter, maybe getting up, going ahead 10-6, stretching their lead. And so, kind of a tough day for Auburn until Bo Nix drops back on 4th and 18 with about 10 seconds to go. He avoids 4 tackles. He does 2 somersaults, 3 back flips, hurls the ball up in the air. Demetrius Robertson, a Georgia transfer, reaches up, grabs it, falls in the pylon, and Auburn wins 12-10 on the last second. So, War Eagle.
One final thing, it's not too late to sign up. So if you want to be part of this fun and this action, please sign up. The biggest winner is the foundation. And also, I noticed on the back of our sheet, we misspelled Florida, so I don't know which team chose that misspelling. I'm sorry, Lamar. We will fix that, okay?
I've already given you $500.
I know. I got to spell your name right. Listen, I'm going to spell it right. Maybe I'll put it in bold where Florida can stand out for 500 more. All right. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Just a couple quick announcements, reminders really. If you have been attending online and you would like to come back in person, if you would just RSVP and let us know, just send a quick email to the office. If you have a standing RSVP, if you aren't going to be here, all you need to do is send us an email and let us know. And also, last reminder is after you finish eating, if you would put your mask back on, we would appreciate it. So joining me today at the head table, we have past President Ron King, who brought us our invocation, and now it's my pleasure to ask Carol Ridley to please introduce today's speaker.
Thank you, President Lori. It is a privilege and honor for me to introduce Brice Maddock, President and CEO of Teen Challenge Southeast Region, and who is also a fellow Rotarian. Over the past 25 years, Brice has felt called to give hope and encouragement to those struggling in life. His time with Teen Challenge began in 1994 as a college student, as a volunteer. Later, he started a program in Reno, Nevada, opening a boys' center for at-risk teens. Teen Challenge eventually carried him to countries like India, where he started a community transformation program in the heart of a major area that reaches hundreds of people daily. Brice also served in the role of Eurasia Regional Director for Global Teen Challenge and oversaw the function of Teen Challenge in 38 countries. As President and CEO of Teen Challenge Southeast Region, he currently oversees 21 residential campuses in 6 states, as well as 8 thrift stores and other micro enterprises, plus our newest division, Hope Counseling. In addition, Brice serves on the board of directors for Teen Challenge Southeast Region, Global Teen Challenge USA, and Global Teen Challenge Advisory Board. Because of his passion for global missions, he has also led in strategically planting Teen Challenge programs abroad. Brice has been an ordained minister for 24 years and holds a Bachelor of Science degree in cross-cultural communications, a Master of Arts degree in theology, and a Master of Science in psychology. Brice's calling from God, exceptional servant leadership, mission, and vision are an inspiration and influence to the 300 members of the Teen Challenge Southeast Region team and the hundreds of adult men and women and adolescent students who are currently in our residential programs. From a more personal perspective, Brice has a passion for his family. We see that every day. He has been married to his high school sweetheart for 27 years, has 3 amazing children whom we all know, two stellar sons-in-law, and one wonderful granddaughter that is the apple of his eye. Let's give a warm welcome to Brice Maddock.
Well, thank you so much, Carol. That really made me sound better than I am. It's great to be here. Thank you so much, President Lori, and all the Rotarians. It is a privilege to be able to represent the organization Teen Challenge, of which, as Carol said, my family and I have been a part of for the last 25 years. When my wife and I first began to volunteer for Teen Challenge, we were actually at a church service, and there was some ladies that had come to the church, and they were kind of sharing their life stories. And there was one lady in particular, her name was Lynn, and I remember she had come and she said, my children were taken away from me. I was put in a psychiatric ward, and my life was really in a bad place. And she said, somebody introduced me to Teen Challenge. And she went to Teen Challenge and finished and graduated, and just to be able to see her, she got her kids back, she was holding down a job, she was successful, and just to be able to see that, we knew that that's what we wanted to do. And so 25 years later, here we are with Teen Challenge, and we've seen countless lives transformed, and have been able to be instrumental in a lot of teen challenges around the world, and to be able to see that. So very excited to be able to share the story of Teen Challenge. And so here we go. I got a PowerPoint for you. Those that don't know about Teen Challenge, started in 1958. David Wilkerson in New York City started Teen Challenge. And basically the story goes is that David Wilkerson obviously was a minister. He was reading a Life magazine and read about these gang members in New York City, and how these 7 gang members had actually killed this young boy, Michael Farmer, who had polio. It killed him in Central Park, and he really felt compelled to be able to go there and to be able to begin the work of Teen Challenge. And 62 years later, we have 1,400 campuses around the world. We're in 140 countries. And my encouragement that I take from that is, when we have a dream and we know that it's going to be impactful in changing lives, there is nothing that we really can't accomplish if we follow that dream. And that's what David Wilkerson did. And each of you have a copy of The Cross and the Switchblade on your tables. Many hundreds of thousands, millions of people have read this book over the years. It's in so many countries, so many languages, so many prisons around the world. And that book right there has changed so many lives just because of the story of Teen Challenge and the lives that have been changed through that. I'm going to be talking about statistics, and I'm going to be talking about the need today. But in all of those numbers and in all of those statistics are people, are faces of people that are really struggling and hurting. And to be able to see the avenue of Teen Challenge, being able to really intervene and see people's lives changed and their families, that's what makes it all worth it. So we see the need. In 2020, the United States experienced over 93,000 overdose deaths, and that's a 30% increase. We see that COVID, obviously the pandemic, has added to this exponentially. And of many people in families and friends of people that are healthy that are struggling through COVID and the pandemic. But once you put an addiction on top of that, and we see this on the daily around our region with our 1,200 long-term beds, where even here in Columbus with our Women's Center, during COVID, with the checks that have gone out, the stimulus checks, when you give a stimulus check to somebody that's struggling with an addiction or is a crack addict or a heroin addict, 2 of those people that were supposed to be coming into our program overdosed and died before they came in. That's just the reality of what's happening. And we see that in the highest year-over-year increase since 1999. So obviously the need is great. Georgia currently ranks among the top 11 states for the most prescription opioid deaths. We've seen time and time again that the demographic has changed of those that we serve. It used to be those that were intravenous drug users, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamines, and a lot more now what we're seeing is prescription opioid addiction along with alcohol. So that's truly on the rise. 73% of people who needed mental health treatment in Georgia do not receive it. 89% of youth in Georgia with severe major depression do not receive consistent treatment. And when we see the youth that are coming to our programs, we have 7 adolescent campuses around our region. We have about 300 beds for adolescents for long-term. We see these adolescents coming struggling more than ever before with anxiety and depression, and we're able to walk them through our 15-month program and to see some really, really great success with that. I just want to say that we're meeting the need with our region. Teen Challenge has 14 adult programs, as Carol said earlier, 7 adolescent programs. We have 8 thrift stores that really help us underwrite all of our adult programs. This year we'll do about $7 million in sales. And we have a lot of the students engaged in our thrift stores that are adults. They learn life skills, they learn work skills, and it's just really neat to be able to see them in that environment transitioning to get a job and to be successful. And then as Carol also mentioned, our 2 Hope Counseling offices. You know, traditionally, Teen Challenge, long-term, it's been a long-term residential programming. The gold standard for those that are struggling with any kind of life-controlling problem, especially with a substance, the gold standard is 12 months. But so many times people can't do 12 months. And so we've started a counseling program where we want to touch people right where they are. We want to meet them right where they are. And so I encourage you to come over to our corporate offices just on West 10th Street here. We'll give you a tour. We have a beautiful area where we do counseling, individual, family counseling. And we've had a donor just recently help us to revitalize all of that. And so I encourage you to come and take a look at that. I just wanted to give a brief history of Teen Challenge here in Georgia. In 1986, we started with the Yellow House over in the Rose Hill area. And then from there, in 2001, we started our girls program in Uchee, or Seal, Alabama. We have 180 acres there. We have an 80-bed facility, and it's a beautiful campus. Any of you are welcome to come take a tour at any time. And our staff over there, Bob and Carla Lee, they've been there for 20 years, and they have an amazing staff. In 2004, we started our Dublin men's campus. We have a capacity right now for 60 men, and we're doing a building project there. We can go up to 85. And we have a graduate of Teen Challenge that actually runs that program. And if you're not excited after you meet that guy, then you don't have a pulse. So Jason, he went through the program, his life was transformed, and on the campus there, he runs an amazing program for the guys that come there. A lot of them come out of prison, coming to our program, and obviously Jason was also in prison for many years. Through the program, his life was changed, and now he's giving back. And it's really neat to be able to see in Dublin, Georgia. And then in 2005, our women moved to our Hertz Drive location. Some great partners here in the community helped us to purchase this church. And so we have capacity for 55 ladies. Right now we're doing a building project, and we're doing a 5,000 square foot building to be able to put more counseling offices, and also a bigger space for classes, and also for when their children and their parents and their spouses come, to be able to have a time where that they can meet and spend time together. Also in 2006, we started our Prayer Mountain Boys Academy. That's in Griffin, Georgia. We're also doing an expansion on that campus where we're going to double capacity because, like I said, the need is great for adolescents here in Georgia. And then in 2007, we opened up our corporate offices here, and we moved from Florida. So like I said, please come by. I know that Carol would love to give you a tour, or somebody else on our team. And I want to say this. I started this PowerPoint with the, it says changing lives together. Obviously, changing lives here. It's not about a few people. It really isn't. It's about a team. We have 300 employees. We have 75 volunteers. We have 50 interns, and people like yourself in the community, our donors, all of that working together is what makes something like this possible. And I can't say that enough, that we have an amazing team that does that. We have a 2025 vision. We finished up our 2020 vision. We were able to do expansion on so many of our different campuses. With our 2025 vision, we have 7 or 8 building projects going on right now around our region. We have some great partners that really see the need, and so very excited about the growth for 2025. One of those areas is our Hope Counseling. Like I said, with our Hope Counseling, just for instance, we got a call at the office for a young man. His uncle called in, and he said, my nephew is 16, he's really struggling, but he can't do a long-term program. So is there anything that you guys can help out with? And so I said, absolutely. And so we connected him with our Hope Counseling, and right now with our licensed professional counselors, they're able to help this young man and kind of walk him through what he's going through right now. And then, after he's evaluated, we'll see. And then if he needs something long-term, then we can talk with the parents about that. But that's what Hope Counseling is, and we're excited about what we're doing with Hope Counseling. Also, we love to invest in like cottage industries. We love to be able to have our residents working, and so we started Simply Clean Solutions last year. We're in 5 different locations. We're here in Columbus, we're in Jacksonville, Orlando, Fort Myers, and one other place I can't think of right now. But what we do is we go in and we do the electrostatic cleaning. And so this is something that is really caught on, and we want to franchise this to our students. And so we try to get creative with the business community and to be able to do things like that, to be able to help our men and women to be able to get plugged into something so that when they leave and transition, then that they can fall back on something. So this Simply Clean Solutions has really done really well. Just a few months ago, we partnered with Mercy Med here in town with Grant Scarborough, and we did some movie sets together. They did the swabbing, and we did all the cleaning of the movie sets. And so we're really excited about where that can go. We have some talks with Pine Mountain Studios just outside of Atlanta, and so very excited about that.